Hello all and welcome, and I'm the MGTOW philosopher. And in this video you have an idiot immigration lawyer in Texas who's actually arguing that illegal aliens use no welfare whatsoever. Now, I don't like doing these videos where I'm doing screen capture of someone doing an interview, generally speaking. I've done a handful of them, and I only do them when I see something so outrageous, so funny, so ridiculous, that there's just no way I can not do a video of it. And when I saw this guy claiming that illegal aliens use no welfare, it just struck me as so obviously false, so clear that this guy is lying. I mean, this goes against all forms of common sense. Everybody knows they use way more than native-born Americans. So I just had to do a video about this guy, and it made me laugh. And if it made me laugh, I know it's going to make you guys laugh, especially with my commentary. So let's see what he has to say, shall we?
That's why I believe the time has come for new immigration rules, which say that those seeking admission into our country must be able to support themselves financially and should not use welfare for a period of at least 5 years.
Well, the usual suspects were shocked by that, of course, but what the president called for isn't a radical innovation. In fact, it aligns him perfectly with the policies of Clinton, Bill Clinton, that is. A 1996 federal law already bars immigrants from drawing welfare benefits for 5 years, but the Bush and Obama administration steadily increased the number of programs exempted from the law. Francisco Hernandez is an immigration attorney in the state of Texas, and he joins us tonight. So, Francisco, the argument in favor of immigration is that immigrants make the country better, they make it richer.
Okay, now that's absurd. They don't. The only time that they make it better and richer is if they're as well or better educated than the people that are here. You're not improving it by bringing in people who are exactly the same as the people we have here. We want to bring in the best. We want to bring in the brightest from other countries, people who are better than what we have here, then they improve it. We don't want to bring in the dregs of humanity who have no skills whatsoever except to suck up welfare.
They bring jobs.
No, they don't. They bring jobs. The poor people with nothing. How are they bringing jobs? The only thing they're doing is taking jobs.
You can't simultaneously argue that and the United States has some obligation to give welfare to people it's never met before. Can you?
Well, Mr. Carlson, thank you for having me. But, you know, quite frankly, the misconception is that undocumented immigrants are receiving welfare. They are not.
Look at this guy's eyes. You know he's lying. This guy is a liar. Of course, we all know that's horse shit. In fact, let me show you how much horseshit that is, shall I? So, here we have the cost of welfare by immigrant and native households. Now, in September of 2015, the Center for Immigration Studies published a landmark study of immigration and welfare use, showing that 51% of immigrant-headed households used at least one federal welfare program. Well, wait a second. Didn't that Shylock lawyer just say, oh, immigrants don't use any welfare? Really? Seems they use cash, food, housing, and medical care. 51% of immigrant-headed households compared to 30% of native. That's a 40% increase. So immigrant-headed households use welfare more than 41% more than native households. Interesting. Following similar methodology, this new study examines the dollar cost of that welfare use. So, the average household headed by an immigrant, legal or illegal, costs taxpayers $6,234 in federal welfare benefits, which is 41% higher than the $4,431 received by the average native household. But wait, they don't use any, right? The average immigrant household consumes 33% more cash welfare. Holy shit. That's a lot. 57% more food assistance and 44% more Medicaid dollars than the average native household. Well, that's a hell of a lot of money. Housing costs are about the same for both groups. At $8,251, households headed by immigrants from Central America and Mexico have the highest welfare costs of any sending region. 86% higher than the cost of native households. Okay, so first paragraph, 51% more. These others were aggregate costs comparing all immigrants. But this right here is all about the Central American Mexicans, the dumbest and least educated group. So, of course, they're going to have the highest welfare costs. And let's look at this. 8,251 compared to 4,431. So almost double. Almost double. So people from Mexico and Central America use almost double the amount of welfare dollars that native-born Americans do. Unbelievable. How could that Shylock lawyer say that with a straight face? Oh, well, that's right, he's an immigration lawyer, and it's his job to advocate for these people. And he's going on that TV program saying this horse shit so the illegals will see him and think that he is sympathetic to them, so they'll hire him. Illegal immigrant households cost an average of, this is average, $5,692, driven largely by the presence of U.S.-born children. While illegal immigrant households cost more. Well, of course, they are eligible for slightly more programs because they're legal. But actually, no, it really doesn't make much difference because look at how much the Mexicans use. That's had no effect. Oh, my God. So, the greater consumption of welfare dollars by immigrants, but he said that was zero. He said it was none. Oh, yeah, I thought it was zero. Can be explained in large part by their lower level of education. Didn't I just say that? Duh. And larger number of children compared to natives. Over 24% of immigrant households are headed by a high school dropout. What a big shock. Compared to just 8% of native households. In addition, 13% of immigrant households have 3 or 4 children. They're going to outbreed us. They're going to outbreed us and then outvote us. Versus just 6% of native households. Unbelievable. And you just look at the numbers. It's crazy. I mean, ridiculous. I just don't know how this guy could say that they use none. I mean, what's he trying to peddle? It's such an obvious lie. I mean, I would understand if he could, try to obfuscate and downplay it. But to say absolutely none? What the hell? Ridiculous. So, let's see what more this idiot has to say. He's already proven himself an idiot. I just proved that he's lying, of course. And that study was done by a neutral group that studies immigration. Their numbers are right on the money. There's no bias involved. I mean, those are all factual representations. And the article, part of it, which I didn't read to you, was that the numbers that they were given tend to be downplayed by the government because the government wants to represent the people who are using welfare as essentially using less so than they actually are. So the numbers that we read are probably even higher, while this Shylock douchebag says, oh, they used none. Yet he thinks you're stupid enough to believe him. And the surprising thing is, and the sad thing is, that a lot of people out there do believe this idiot.
Okay, that's just plain not true.
It is true, you scumbag. This guy, what do you think? People are so dumb that you just say it and they'll believe you? What you say is clearly goes against all reality. What is obviously true? It goes against everything that we know and is obviously true, but of course we're just going to buy it. Sad part is that a lot of people will.
Now, President Clinton did, in a hypocritical move, to get himself reelected, passed this 1996 statute, but the month after it was passed by executive order, he reversed it. Okay.
Yeah, of course. It was just done so he could get elected. He's a dishonest scumbag. Of course he did that.
Okay, but there have been 2 presidents, Republican Obama, quite frankly, that have not reversed the executive order, but that's the law. President Trump is not doing anything that's not already within the law.
This is a verbal Vesuvius here. Let's back up a tiny bit. First of all, immigrants, legal and illegal, receive a whole host of welfare benefits from the U.S. government, including...
whoa, 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 what's he talking about? They don't. Look at the smile on his face. He's just sitting there. He knows he's lying. He knows he's lying. He's just a disinformation junkie. That's all this guy is.
Undocumented do not.
Yes, they do, actually. Yet
They don't receive Medicaid. They don't receive.
That's not true. I just read off that they receive tons and tons of Medicaid, tons of it. I just read you the study that was done. They do receive Medicaid. These are numbers from the government. These numbers come from the government. They just don't come from some wacko wearing a tinfoil hat, buddy, like you, with your lies.
Actually, have you ever heard of emergency Medicaid?
No, it's not wrong, you scumbag. You can say it all you want, you leftist douche. That doesn't make it true.
It pays for, actually, you're wrong. It pays for almost 100% of the emergency room. No. Oh, it's true.
No, well, who's paying for it, you idiot? The Medicare ferry? The money's just coming out of thin air. Well, they're printing it out of thin air, but it's still creating inflation, so it's very real.
Okay, whatever. I'm not going to debate a fact that I know to be certain with you and you don't know. Oh, no, there is a special fund, a federal fund, to pay those bills, and they go almost exclusively to illegal aliens. But
no, they
that's
don't.
not what
It's
the president was talking about.
Threatening.
Actually,
that's not what we're talking about. You're right.
Oh, now he wants to change the subject because Tucker's starting to really push him and get into actual factual details. And the guy's like, I better not go too far with this. Otherwise, if I challenge him too much, he's going to start bringing up too many facts. And then I might get shown to be the idiot I am, which you're already shown to be an idiot. He thinks that the people watching are total morons, that they don't know that he's spewing lies.
All right. The president last night said immigrants shouldn't be getting...
Oh, you smug, arrogant cocksucker, you. I'd like to slap that smug grin off his face. What a douche.
Federal benefits for 5 years. And I'm wondering, how is there an argument against that? How can you say to people around the world...
Yeah, I don't get it. Here's what the flaw in this guy's logic is. If the illegals, and this is clearly how he's lying, I mean, you know it, because if the illegals are using no welfare money like he's saying, which is obvious falsehood, then why would he be against Trump passing this law saying that they can't use welfare for 5 years? Why would he be against that if they don't use welfare anyway? So right there it tells you he's being a disingenuous liar. If they're not using it, what do you care? Let him pass the law. Go ahead. They're not using it anyway, right?
Come here and we'll pay you welfare benefits. That's kind of the opposite of what we would want, isn't it?
Well, if they're paying taxes, you know, there are a lot of U.S. citizens receiving welfare that don't pay any taxes. The question is, are they...
Wait. You just said they're not using welfare. Why did this guy contradict himself? Then he's saying, well, if they pay U.S. taxes, they should be able to collect welfare, but they're not collecting welfare. What?
Paying the ticket on the bus. Quite, you know, if they're paying their fair share, there's nothing wrong with it. That's what...
You just said they're not taking welfare. You just said it. Ah! What the hell? You just spent 2 minutes arguing that they're not using any welfare dollars at all. You were absolute. You didn't leave any room for doubt. You didn't say, yeah, they're using some of this, there's some of that, they're using less, they're not using as much as the native-born American. No, you said none, zero. You were implicit when you said this. You left no room for doubt. No, they're not using any welfare at all whatsoever. Now you're saying they are. What the fuck? This guy can't even keep track of his own lies.
What we sign up for. But undocumented immigrants do not receive
so
any...
people come...
Wait, but you just said if they pay the ticket, they should be able to receive the ride on the bus, meaning get the welfare. Now you just realized you contradicted yourself, so you're turning back to the old argument again. Oh, my God.
Look, you just don't know what you're talking about. There's a fund called Emergency Medicaid. It's $2 billion a year, and it goes almost exclusively to illegal aliens. There's not an argument. It's actually been established, and you're making me frustrated because I know what I'm talking about and you don't. But that's not the point of this conversation.
Well, then I shouldn't frustrate you.
The point is, why would you
Oh, it shouldn't frustrate you then. Shouldn't frustrate you that I'm clearly lying. Clearly lying. Just to make myself look good in the virtue signal. See, this is the thing about leftists, okay? This guy is a 100% cultural Marxist. He's an economic Marxist. He clearly is a communist. And the thing about these people, the left, in their handbook. Lie to everybody if you have to push your agenda. Lying is perfectly okay. Propaganda is perfectly okay in the service of the movement, of the agenda, of the ideology that we're pushing. Lying to advance, it's perfectly okay. And he's following the Frankfurt School manifesto to the letter.
Invite people to this country.
We're not.
And then put them on welfare. Isn't the whole idea that people come here and they...
He just keeps saying, no, we're not, no, this is their thing. If you repeat a lie often enough, people will believe it. So if he repeats it enough and enough and enough, people think he's telling the truth.
Add to the society. You don't want to import people who are already dependent. Why would you do that?
We don't, Mr. Carlson, but...
What do you mean we don't do that? Again, he just keeps saying the same lie over and over. He's been challenged. He's been proven wrong. He's had facts and statistics cited to him. I just showed you statistics from the government itself in a study done in 2015. It's been proven that he's lying, but he continues to tell the same lie.
You know what? What happened to the wall? This is a detraction.
There we go. Now, he was talking about Tucker. Oh, don't change the subject, Tucker. Then don't change the subject. Don't change the argument. Now he's changing the argument. Now, this is clearly obfuscation. He wants to change the argument, muddy the waters. This is what the left does. When you corner them on a specific subject, they just shift to another one and shift to another one, and they keep shifting around. So you can't ever corner them and lock them in to a specific answer, to being honest.
From the wall. Undocumented immigrants do not receive Medicaid. It doesn't.
Yeah, they do, you idiot. I just proved it. I just showed statistics that they use lots and lots of Medicaid. What's he talking about? What's this guy smoking? Oh, my God. I mean, the average immigrant household consumes 44% more Medicaid dollars than the average native household. And he's sitting there saying they don't consume any. This guy's brazenness and just how much he's lying just shows you how far the country's moved to the left and how much trouble we are actually in.
If it is life-threatening, that is what the emergency government hospitals are supposed to do.
Okay,
You can laugh.
Just ignorant on the subject. Okay, because it's better than getting mad. Let me just ask you the question. This is just too frustrating one last time, which is a philosophical question, and I think...
Notice that this guy, this Shylock Jew lawyer, which he probably is, whatever nationality it is, it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't think he's ignorant at all. I think that Tucker's got it all wrong. I think that this guy isn't necessarily ignorant. I think he's well aware of the facts. I think he's purposely spinning things. I think he's purposely lying. He's a disinformation junkie. That's all he is. And he goes on these shows and he lies and lies and lies and gets the sheep to believe his lies. And he just repeats them over and over again and reinforces them. And that's all.
Important one.
But notice he hasn't answered the actual question. He was asked a simple question at the start, and he has yet to answer it. He's going to keep shifting around, continue to criticize Trump, criticize things, and then continue to lie, obfuscation, muddy the waters, critical theory. This is all Frankfurt School, 100%. But he won't answer the actual question. Watch, he's not going to answer it.
Why would you want to bring people voluntarily to your country? We don't owe them anything. It's a favor we're doing them to allow them to come here. Why would you want to bring people who are immediately dependent on welfare when they get here? Don't you want people who add something immediately to your country?
Oh, but they don't use welfare. What? He'll say it again. I'm sure.
Economically.
You're just down and determined to argue with me. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm telling you, that's the law already. There is no argument, but you just want to disagree with me on something because I proved to you that undocumented immigrants do not receive Medicaid.
I told you he was going to say it again. I only saw the first minute of this, by the way, before I started recording. I just knew he'd say it again because that's what they do. They repeat the same lies, criticisms, then muddy the waters and obfuscate by changing the subject and hopping around so you can never lock them down on one particular thing. That's what these people do.
I'm telling you, okay, there are two strains here. Undocumented aliens, illegal aliens, do receive the benefits I just described. Legal immigrants receive a panoply of welfare benefits, including food stamps, child care. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things exempted from this law. And the president's saying, you know what? Let's take those exemptions away and say, if you come here as an immigrant, you know, thrive on your own. And I don't know why you would argue against that. And I doubt you do either.
So 21 years have passed, and all of these illegal benefits have been paid out, and nobody has trumped out the warning signs? I mean, come on, Mr.
What's this guy talking about? What is he talking about? The country's been ruled by the left for 21 years. Nobody talks about this stuff until Trump came into office. Nobody wants to, because the whole goddamn society has been turned into a bunch of bleeding hearts who they don't question this stuff. They don't question. They want to help these people, It hasn't been talked about in politics. And the media hides it too. They're all complicit, you idiot.
Mr. Carlson, this is really a detraction from what we really should be talking about.
Wait, that's amusing. So now he's the detraction from what you were. That's what you were brought on. That's what you were brought on to talk about, you idiot. You just want to keep trying to change the subject.
Immigration reform. What?
Immigration reform means open borders. In this guy's mind, open borders, let everybody in. What do you need? The immigration laws are perfectly fine. They just need to be enforced. And we need idiots like you to stop going against the laws that are already on the books and trying to stop them from being enforced.
Mr. Trump, President Trump
letting in more people to go on welfare. You got
Where's
it.
the
We're
wall?
going to put you in charge of it, Francisco. You're being trusted.
Mr. Hannity and I both agreed to meet on the wall and start building the wall on the border. Let's go. You can come with us.
Well, I'll join you. Thank you, Francisco. Appreciate it.
Ay. This guy, what a... So this is what annoys me about the leftists. They just are so disingenuous, such big liars. This guy's a perfect example. Illegal aliens, they don't use welfare. No immigrants use welfare. Nobody can be that stupid. I am the McDowell Philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.